So, hello, friends, once again. So, we continue our recital now with music of Pablo de Sarasate, the Romanza Andaluza, or the Andalusian Romance. This is, of course, the very essence of Spanish music and the flavor. So, Sarasate, of course, for those that know a little bit perhaps about him, um, he was, of course, a virtuoso violinist himself, and so the 19th century saw a lot of emergence of virtuosos on the violin as well as piano, and mainly I can say that Sarasate really delighted in his concert touring and performing his own works, which were very much inspired by Spanish folk music. So this one is perhaps how I imagine it anyway. It's like a love song. This is like the violin has a lot of double notes, so this is like very romantic kind of themes, and it's actually a very delightful, very much audience pleasing work. So we know that you'll enjoy this one, and so this is the Andalusian Romance by Pablo de Sarasate. So there we go, the Romance, Andalusian Romance by SARASATE. And we have lots more for you. So this is to open our second half of tonight. And we continue now with music of Johannes Brahms, and arranged by his friend Joseph Joachim, the Hungarian Dance, number 7. And this is one of his 21 Hungarian dances. As I said, arrangement for violin and piano. There's multiple transcriptions and arrangements for many different instruments, including piano for hands and orchestrations for symphony orchestra. And so tonight you will hear the violin and piano version by Joseph Joachim, Hungarian Dance number 7. Thank you so much. So there we go, the Hungarian Dance number 7 by Brahms. And we next have music of the Polish composer, virtuoso violinist called Henryk Wieniawski. And this piece, the Legend, and this is of course by the title like a story and storytelling. And this piece in G minor, so very kind of melancholy tone, but it has a very warm and beautiful second section in the middle. So again, a little bit like the Sarasate, but in a different character, in a different sense. So this is a very romantic piece. So it fits in very well with the theme of tonight's recital, so romantic masterpieces. And this is definitely one of those. So please enjoy the Legend by Henryk Wieniawski. So there we go, The Legend by Henryk Wieniawski. And I have to say that over the years of my concert activity, I actually, for some reason, I never had the opportunity to bring it back and play it since I last played it when I was about 13, 14 years old. That would have been the last time I performed it. So, of course, it brings back many fond memories of the days where I was a student and growing up with all this fabulous violin music to study. So it's, of course, a great privilege to always perform before audiences, even if they're online, like our friends here. Thank you so much for joining us once again. So we have more for you. And we continue now with one of my favorite pieces, the Chinese Tambourin by Fritz Kreisler. Now, Fritz Kreisler, Austrian violinist and composer, and of course, he had a great love of performing and especially making friends in a way with his audiences and with his charming stage manner and his modesty. It was very much a favorite with concert goers, and he was really a sensation of the time and a rival to other great violinists around, Michael Ellmann. But the two of them were very great friends, Michael Ellmann and Fritz Kreisler. And Fritz Kreisler, of course, he at the time that he wrote many pieces himself, he didn't want to admit that he wrote them. So out of the humility and modesty, so he decided to attribute them to other names than himself. But this particular one, however, is not one of those. This is named as his composition. So there's no in the style of here. This is totally the title with Fritz Kreisler's chosen name and, of course, his own name. But this little one is very much loved as an encore piece. We will play it as part of the program today. And yeah, as I said, it's one of my very most favorite pieces. So we hope that you'll enjoy it. The Chinese Tambourin by Fritz Kreisler. So there we go, the Chinese Tambourin by Fritz Kreisler. And I should have mentioned before we started, but just a little comment about the inspiration for that piece. Fritz Kreisler was out to dinner, no doubt with friends, and in San Francisco, and he was in a Chinese restaurant, and he was just at the moment inspired to write such a wonderfully whimsical piece. So we love it very much, and thank you so much for enjoying it with us. So now we have music of Sergei Rachmaninoff. This is a transcription of his vocal work called Daisies, so named after the pretty flower. And this is a relatively simplistic kind of a theme, but embellished with the transcription of Fritz Kreisler, none other than Fritz Kreisler. So the man who wrote the last piece, the previous one. This is one of his transcriptions and one of his best loves, but it's not so often played. So we will bring it to you this evening, and so thank you very much. So you were listening there to music of Sergei Rachmaninoff, and in the transcription by Fritz Kreisler, the piece Daisies. So our final work in tonight's concert, we turn to a wonderfully colorful piece called Spanish Dance, and this is from the music of the opera by Manuel de Falla, and Spanish composer. And so he, of course, was a great pianist himself, and also he was a contemporary of perhaps the more famous names of so his Spanish compatriots, Enrique Granados and Torrega as well, and Albeniz. So he also wrote a modest amount of works compared to other composers relatively, but actually, Carol Hess, the musicologist, she regards Manuel de Falla as the greatest Spanish composer of the 20th century. So here we have the Spanish Dance, and it is an excerpt from La Vida, Breve, or The Short Life, and this is also one of Fritz Kreisler's transcriptions. So again, Fritz Kreisler is featured. And this is, of course, a wonderfully colorful scoring for both instruments. So even in the piano part, there's a lot of influence of orchestral colors there. And you will hear in the elaborate piano accompaniment there, it's not just an accompaniment role, it's much more of an orchestration type of role. So we hope that you'll enjoy, to finish tonight's concert, the Spanish Dance by Manuel de Falla. we go. The Spanish Dance by Manuel de Falla in the transcription by Fritz Kreisler. So that brings to a close the recital for today. And we thank you for listening. And thank you to my pianist today, Konstantin Alexeyev. And it's been a great pleasure to play for you the program. And please don't forget that we have every month these online recitals. So we will have some more for you next month in April. And it's, of course, just as much a pleasure to perform for you online as it is in real life. So we do hope that in the nearest future that that will be able to be realized as a live concert. So we thank you for joining us. And so this is Linda Gilbert, and with Konstantin Alexeyev, we had the recital tonight, the evening of Mozart and romantic masterpieces. So next month, we will have new themes. We will have new themes for our concerts and new programs. So be sure to tune in again and not to miss the next ones, because we really value our online audience. It may be small in number at the moment, but please do tell your friends and acquaintances to, if they would like to, join our next events online. Please do tell them, because to get the word out is, of course, the aim. And we would appreciate it if you would pass the word along if you enjoyed tonight. And those of you who may have already seen some online concerts of last month as well, and in January when we began. So that wraps up our program for today. And thank you so much. And see you in April. Bye for now.